What is this?
From diesel or gas pacers to rocket-powered racers, nomads, go-mads, RVs, schoolies, they'll turn it, tweak it, tune it, fix it so smoothly. That's why he's Badge. Everybody needs one.
Welcome back, sports fans. What are we doing talking today? We're talking snowblowers. We're going to talk snowblowers because it's that time of season. No, we're not talking snowblowers. We're talking lawnmowers. Talking snowblowers. Okay, this is one of the most I get. You wouldn't believe how many calls I get on this every week. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a couple things that will save you a ton of money. I don't care if you don't even know what a screwdriver is. You can get through this. My daughter donated to me because she had too many of them. And I brought this little thing back from Saskatchewan. Now, a couple things about a lawnmower is that a lot of them are going to electricity, electric lawnmowers. Everybody is building electric lawnmower. You run this on 94 octane. So you have to go to a Sunoco place to get it. Or Shell has 94 octane now. And the reason for the 94 octane is, I'll tell you, is it doesn't have no ethanol in it. Ethanol is the most corrosive liquid on the planet besides sulfuric acid. Just no ethanol. Don't put ethanol in. Because the problem with ethanol, you fill it up with the lawnmower and you cut your grass and it sits there for a week, and then you go and cut the grass and then it sits there for another week and you never add no gas to it. But this ethanol crap goes in it and it sits in the carburetor and makes a hell of a mess. You have to, and then eventually it'll quit running. Or if you leave it over the winter, it'll quit running and you can't get it going. So that's why you run 94 octane. I know it's expensive. It's $2 a liter up here in Canada. So, and that converts to about $6 or $7 American a gallon. And just work with me on this one, okay? Just no ethanol, no 85. 85 is even the worst. Never put 85 in your lawnmower. And the oil, most of them have a dipstick on them now. And try to get the book, and you'll find that the little dipstick is, you don't even have to think anymore. It's just got oil in it. You know, it's very easy. Now, most of the engines, the only problem with them is, like you got to change it every season. And it's a pain in the ass because most of them, you have to pour it out the dipstick hole. You just take the dipstick out and pour it into a pan and dispose of it. It only holds a little less than half a quart of oil. Run 530 synthetic. That's it. You're only going to do this once a year, so it's not a big deal. Okay? Now, on the side here, you'll see this funny little cable. This is what I call the dumb people cable. That's what this is. This is a dumb people cable, which is attached to this handle here, up here, right? On the lever. Now this is a dumb, reason I call it the dumb people thing, because people have a tendency to start the lawnmower, and without the dumb people cable, it will stay running. It'll stay running. So, but with the dumb people cable, it'll turn off. But I put a wire tie on it, just a loose wire tie, because when you're cutting the grass, you're backing up and yada, and the most lawnmowers are made with a rag. I call it a rag behind here that drags on the lawn to spur up the grass and to not let little rocks come flying out, because what they design them for is to go forward only. Well, you know I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go forward and backwards. So I cut that rag off. You don't need it. You check your lawn for rocks before you cut it. So that's what this is what I call the stupid people bar. That's what that is. And what that does is turns the mag and grounds out the magneto. That's all it does. So if this cable breaks, there's a couple ways to fix it. One is get a new cable, or two, pull it back and put a wire tie on it. and get it fixed. You know, you should have the dumb people cable, because if somebody cuts their fingers off, then they're going to blame me. But that's all right. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Now, this here is the fuel shutoff. Now, you should always turn the fuel shutoff off when you're not using it. Just turn it off. But not very many lawnmowers have that. Now, this one, I haven't done it yet because I cleaned it up, but you should put a gas filter right here. Cut the line and put a gas filter for $5-6. But if you're not going to keep the lawnmower, it don't matter. Now, this one here is one speed. It's high speed only. Well, it's not high speed. It's adjusted to cut the grass. There's no throttle cable on it. It's got a choke on it. So this is a catch-22 or the black area or the thing like, who in the hell was thinking about this? So you put the choke on, and the start cable is over here, right? The pull start is over here. So you have to hold the lever and pull the cable, and it starts. Well, you can't use the lawnmower because the choke's on. So you have to let go of the dumb bar and go and take the choke off. It's not very smart. But anyway, that's what they've done. They're trying to get these things like cars, they'll self-drive them anyway. And there's a whole selection of self-driving lawnmowers. Believe me, it's crazy. Between self-driving lawnmowers and electric lawnmowers, the gas mowers are almost obsolete, believe it or not. So anyway, you put oil in it, synthetic. You check the air cleaner. You just take that lever off and you pull this air cleaner out, and believe it or not, you can just shake it out on the ground. And look at all the crud that comes out of that. And then you take it and put it back in. But a lot of people can't do that. They just take it down to a lawnmower shop and they wonder why it costs them $500. Well, that's why. Because they cleaned the air cleaner for you. So that's the air cleaner. Fuel shut off, air cleaner, 94 octane. Now the spark plug. The spark plug's right here. It takes a 13/16 socket and you get it. Now what you do is to set the gap. I got a real fancy tool, of course. But you can buy these, like all these tools for this lawnmower, less than $40 maybe. At Harbor Freight, less than that. Canadian Tire, you can buy a kit for like $30. And you can buy a little gauge. Now what you want to do is set this at 25 thou. So you set it at 25 thou, right? 25 thou. It's right on 25 thou. I know you thought it wasn't, but it would be. Okay, so 25 thou. You just check it. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. So that's what it's for. And if you're wondering what these are, these little hooks on the gauge are for, that's to spread open or close it a bit. Same as on this one is to spread it or open. So anyway, that's the spark plug. Now, a spark plug usually lasts, I would say, 3 to 4 years, easily. But anyway, if you want, put a new one in it. They're not that much. Get them at Canadian Tire, O'Reilly's, everywhere. Anywhere that sells lawnmowers will have it. The next crucial thing is the blade. This is the blade. Now, there's nothing scientific about this blade. Now, this is what they call a mulching blade, because see how many bends and not in it? Now, what you want to do is keep this sharp. Don't worry about making it like a razor blade, because it'll only last one cutting, because you're cutting grass. Now, if you hit rocks and sticks and stuff like that, it's going to dull down real quick. Like it's going to take the edge off it. Now, that's the blade. Now, these are like $20 at Canadian Tire. Now, this is the most important piece right here. This is the adapter between the crankshaft and the blade. Now, bear with me that the crank and the engine, I've only known it to break a couple times because this is made of pot metal. So it will break before. Now what it does usually is, see the two bumps on her tits, whatever you want to call them? That there is made to shear off when you hit a stump or something. And this is a keyway that goes into the crankshaft. It's keyed. Now, why I tell you that is because if you go along and you hit a stump or hit a rock or put it into the ground and it stalls the motor, and then you start it up and it runs like a bag of shit, I'll tell you why. Because chances are you broke these off and the blade is not balanced to the engine anymore. Though this is the way they balance the motor. The blade is made to run with the keyway in the crankshaft, right? So that's what these are for. They'll shear off. This is the loose link, I call it, or the stupid people saver thing. This is what it is. And so this just goes onto the blade like this. Okay? And then your bolt goes in there. This is mostly all of them are 3/8 fine thread bolt, and they have, sometimes they put Loctite on it. It's up to you if you want to put Loctite. And you bolt it on the bottom of the engine. Now, if it hits something, it will shear that off. I don't care what they say. It will shear these off. I've seen these things on at 100 pounds, and it still shears that off. Without that pin on there, that blade will not stay still. Believe me. Now, say for instance you shear that underneath the lawnmower, look at it, see if this is off center to the blade. This is not rocket science. Anybody can do this. Take the bolt out, line it up, put the bolt back in, and go get a new one after you're done. But that's why everybody goes, oh, my question on the lawnmower, put it down below and I'll answer them. But usually that is the problem. You broke the shear pin, right? Now just to back up a bit. 94 octane minimum. Okay? Clean the air cleaner every couple days because it will suck in a lot of, you will not believe how much crap gets in, grass and stuff gets in there. Spark plug once a year, oil once a year. Synthetic 530. That's all there is to them all.
Dad, lunch. Oh, you gotta wash your hands before you come in.
Salad? That's not lunch.
Badge. Everybody needs one. We love our badge. And just remember, he's not asking.